Hello and welcome to the weekend edition of National Focus. I'm your presenter Mervin. Thank you for joining us. Topping the headlines, law and order, a priority for the Creole in the Park affair. GIS Dominica Limited contributes to the rebuilding efforts at the GIS Catholic Church. And Dominica joins the rest of the international community on Sunday in the observance of World Rural Women Day. Stay with us as we bring you details of these and other stories when National Focus returns. Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. After announcing plans to improve 18 farm access roads across the island, Minister for Public Works Honorable Mervin stated that more farm roads will be addressed in time. The minister specified that government is focusing on the more productive areas of the country at this point, but intends to pay attention to the other areas.
The intention is to address, we're looking at an aggregate of 109 kilometers of feeder roads. But of course, one has to be informed by some critical information. That is why we are targeting the areas where we have productive farming. And also the size of the cultivation is of paramount importance. And that is why those areas that were made mention of are the areas as, based on the information that we have received from the persons with the level of competence, that is from the experts from the Ministry of Agriculture, those areas are indeed the heavily cultivated areas. So we are starting there, and the intention is to gradually place attention to the other areas.
Minister Blackmore announced on Thursday that government will spend about $2.5 million and hire close to 20 local contractors to improve more than 25 kilometers of farm access road. On a similar note, Honorable Blackmore stated that a number of projects are currently ongoing following the effects of Ophelia in 2011.
We have started doing some of the river defense works in the various spots I've just made mention of. That is to say St. Joseph, Mao, Massac, Checkle, and Campbell. And even after the passage of Ophelia, there are certain parts in the southeastern part of the country, like Saint-Sauveur and Goudou, that have experienced and gone for some damages and edge failures of the roads. And we'll be addressing, for example, in Goudou, a crossing, and in Saint-Sauveur, a returning wall.
The minister listed some other upgrades taking place which will benefit the communities of Egliston and Petit Savan, among others.
As I speak with you, in Egliston, where a certain portion of the road has collapsed, a contract has been effective and signed and work has started already in that area. We're also looking at widening certain parts of the road in Petit Savan, and in due course, work will commence. And a number of other areas that we're trying to address. And we are putting together the analysis for the restoration of a section of the road in Wharton Waven. And we are going to continue with the road improvement effort in the Grand Fort area, where you're going to actually surface the road and put in concrete drains.
Also on the agenda, Honorable Blackmore said, is roadworks for the capital city.
We have made mention of improving Victoria Street, Lalikuku. We're just putting the contract documents together for the actual construction of the drains in Lalikuku and the actual surfacing of the road, and to include Victoria Street. Improvement will also be done on the drains in the Barfoot area going back into Victoria Street. Very soon we're going to start with the actual surfacing of the road from the intersection of Federation Drive coming back into the East Lubbock Bridge, and also the intersection of Federation Drive going back to the West Bridge, so we can have that smooth transition as we come from the West Coast Road coming into Roseau or leaving Roseau.
In other news, GIS Dominica Limited has taken care of the painting needs of the GIS Roman Catholic Church. The church is currently under construction, and GIS has donated all the paint required free of charge. The paint was handed over during the ceremony at the church on Thursday morning.
We give thanks to God, our Almighty Father. He is the reason why we are here, and it is very important not to forget that. But again, He God with his power also influences other people to help. And you don't usually find that government would normally help with churches and so on. Most times, especially the Catholic Church, they would expect that help to come from the bishop, but the government of Dominica has recognized for this community, because of the disaster that happened some time ago with the earthquake, that the people in the community need a place to worship, and Harris Paints would always support the government in this regard and the people of the community as contributing towards Dominica like we always do. So again, we are very pleased that we can help in whatever way, and I would just hope that other business places would be very pleased and willing to also contribute when the government is doing something, to always come forward and assist the government also and the people of Dominica, because a place which is good is a place for all.
The Prime Minister, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, is also parliamentary representative for the Vekas constituency, applauded the company for its contribution towards the church renovation project.
Harris Paints is a local company. They manufacture the paints here in Dominica. They employ people from Dominica. And it's always important for us to patronize them in order for them to be able to make such donations and contributions to a worthy cause, the painting of the Vekas Catholic Church. And we would like to say thanks to Harris Paints. Once we called them, within a matter of minutes, rather, they said they were prepared to assist. So there was no big negotiations taking place to get them to give all the paint that was requested for the painting of the Catholic Church.
On Sunday, November 21, 2004, a major earthquake completely destroyed the Vekas Catholic Church. Parish priest Father Tarimo is grateful for the support from nationals towards the reconstruction efforts.
We know that this church, as it stands now, it is not because of my effort, not because of one's effort, an individual's effort, but because of a joint effort. And we thank God for the many people who continue to sacrifice to help us. You know, when they help us, it does not mean that they have more than enough. No. But they offer sacrifice. They deny themselves for the sake of the Vekas people. We have Deacon Nugent in the U.S. and also other many benefactors, but also we have many people from within our own village, our country, Dominica, who always continue to support us in such a way that we can reach where we are.
In more news, Chief Executive Officer of the National Export Council Secretariat, Joseph Isaac, wants those involved in the production of music in Dominica to take actions to develop their music into an international brand. Isaac made the call as he addressed a panel discussion on Thursday at the UWI Open Campus Auditorium dubbed Kada Slipso Music Yesterday, Today and Tomorrow. He recommended that musicians and promoters pay attention to product development, branding, marketing and finance.
Do we specifically want to have Kadas or Buyo music in, let's say, for example, in the Creole language? When, for example, in the Francophone countries, you would have a certain number of people. So if, let's say 10 million people, is that what type of market size you're looking for? So would you want to create Kadas music also in a language, let's say in English language, so that it can penetrate markets that we did not penetrate before?
Thursday's panel discussion was held ahead of the Kada Slipso competition hosted by the National Cooperative Credit Union on Saturday, 20th October at the Newtown Savannah. Marcel Harrigan of the National Cooperative Credit Union explained the reason for their focus on Kadas music.
We believe that Kadas is one of the genres of music that possesses currently the most potential. I personally believe that. We haven't truly experimented with the music to the extent that the Kadas music can in fact truly become a global music, a music that people will dance to in Alaska, in China, in Japan, in Siberia, in the whole of Africa, the Caribbean. That's the object of the exercise. The object of this exercise really and truly is to stimulate activity within the local economy. By so doing, you create jobs, you create employment, create income for people who are involved in the producing, singing, publishing, and so on. So it provides us with this opportunity to really and truly put a structure in place, a blueprint in place, and move forward as far as Calypso is concerned.
During the evening's discussion, local musician and producer Cornel Phillips spoke of some of the lessons learned from his production of Kadas music.
There's no one way or no set way of really playing Kadas music or even the instrumentation of Kadas music. I mean, a lot of people ask me questions, what is Kadas music? What instruments do you play? If you play the hi-hat and if you play the cymbals and stuff like that. And I will just touch on a couple of these points. When we come to stuff like the hi-hat or the cymbals, for instance, they basically play the same thing, right? I believe the difference is the approach at playing it, right? Take, for instance, let's look at the cymbal, for instance. You go, right? Some people tend to think that is compa music. But I have found out that, yes, it is implemented in compa music. It is implemented in Kadas music. But it's the way in which the instrument is struck, right? With the Kadas music, the drummer would hit the edge of the cymbal, which caused a more harsh sound.
Thursday's panelists included Gordon Henderson, Gregory Rabes, McCarthy Marie, Derek Ra Peters, and Michael Henderson Del Sol. More on Thursday's event in a subsequent newscast. Lime's 10th Creole in the Park later this month will be well secured by the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force, which is taking the task very seriously. At a press conference on Thursday, Police Superintendent Yvonne Alexander introduced the security arrangements that will guard law and order at that event. At the top of the list, citizens are being advised to be on guard and to look out for each other, while the police will be working hard to protect the entire area.
Naturally, because it is an event that has now attracted thousands who come from across the globe, we have the additional influx of visitors to our shores that creates additional need for heightened security during these times. I want to say that we in the CDPF are ready and will work in partnership with the private security that will be part of the arrangement for the Creole in the Park duties. I want to say too that there is a responsibility on the part of each and every Dominican to take responsibility not just for the event, but also for ensuring their own security. We have had the instances where individuals seem to turn a blind eye to certain events that occur. Major events creates a climate where there can be pickpocketing, there can be robberies and so on. And so we have to be each other's keeper.
The ground commander for the event is Inspector Ainsworth Irish. He detailed the responsibilities of the police at the Creole in the Park.
Police officers will be there, readily available in uniform to ensure that the security will be conducted in such a way that is in the event that there is any unwanted behavior creeping into the situation, we will arrest the situation as soon as possible. We do not have any perceived threat of any disturbance in Dominica for that period, but nonetheless, as I said, we will heighten our security. So just to say in short, in a nutshell, the police officers will be there. And we expect persons to come into the park decently dressed and organized and to comply with the regulations. I do not want to touch too much on traffic since the traffic officer will address that aspect of it. But just to save motorists, persons carpool, that can ensure that we minimize the level of traffic that will be coming into the Botanic Gardens.
Superintendent Alexander noted that patrons can expect to see uniformed police officers during the earlier parts of the day and battle dress uniforms towards the evening. There will also be officers in plainclothes throughout the entire event. Traffic arrangements were also announced at the press conference. Inspector Anthony Lawrence explained that there will be very limited vehicular access to the Botanic Gardens.
The event is going to commence somewhere around 12 in the afternoon, but we will be on the ground from 11. And therefore, we are going to install no entry sign on Valley Road. And Valley Road is the road that leads to Bath Estate. So at the area of Alliance Française, there'll be a no entry sign, only a local access to allow persons who is going to do business at Josephine Gabriel and Company. But beyond that, there'll be no access for any motor vehicles in that area. There'll also be a no entry sign in the area of Valley Road and Bath Road, that is in the area of Hara Agency there. And therefore, no vehicle will be allowed to go up that Valley Road. So patrons will have the unlimited access to flood the park, for full participation in that activity. And with that arrangement being made, we have at a bus stop, the Mont Prosper Waterwave bus stop. That bus stop is going to be relocated along Bath Road in the area of Hara Agency and Virgin Lane, right in that area across from the convent prep school. So persons from the valley would then have to go in that area to pick up their bus and to move up to the valley. And from there, they would proceed along Bath Road and take a right turn onto the Link Road, passing at the back of the stadium and go up to the valley. Also too, we have persons who is going to pick up the children, collect the children sometime in the afternoon, just around 1 o'clock. And therefore, the two gates at the Botanic Garden will be closed, but however, between 12:30 and 1:30 will allow persons to come in there to enter the garden from the Bath Road end and exit from the Emsall end, just to pick up their children and to move out of the garden. We'll have police officers there to man the gate and will only allow entry into the garden at that time. In the absence of that, there will be no entry through the garden, except in the, for local access for persons who is working at the gardens themselves.
Inspector Lawrence had special instructions for the use of Virgin Lane during the evening hours.
In the evening time, we are going to have a no entry at the junction of Virgin Lane and Bath Road, so that no motor vehicle will be allowed to go beyond Virgin Lane onto Bath Road. So all vehicles coming down, traveling northbound vehicles on Bath Road will then have to make a left and onto Virgin Lane and to proceed to wherever they want to go.
The press conference also served to officially announce that Trinidadian soca artist Kerwin Dubois is a no-show for this year's Creole in the Park. Lime's general manager Jeffrey Baptist said that although the news is disappointing, the absence of the artist will not change the outcome of that event.
I want to make the point, though, that Creole in the Park, the event that it is bigger than any one artist, or any one band, or any one act. And the no-show of Kerwin Dubois in Dominica certainly will not negatively impact the success of Creole in the Park. In my view, an event that touches so many significant development touch points in Dominica cannot be hindered by the unavailability of one single artist. Our cultural art form within Dominica will be exposed in the manner they have been intended to be exposed. Our local musicians will get the opportunity to showcase their talents on stage during the event. We will also connect the Caribbean with other regionally recognized and internationally acclaimed artists like Mr. Vegas, the free soca acts from Grenada. We'll also have, as Geoff mentioned, Ben Jai from Trinidad and Tobago, who himself is a very popular and successful soca artist. So we want to make the point to the public that not having Kerwin Dubois in no way will impact adversely the quality of this year's Creole in the Park.
And that's the English segment of the news. We now join Macpherson St. Louis for the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est Macpherson St. Louis. Premièrement, ministre Public Works Honorable Ribbon Blackmore, qui a fait parole que le gouvernement Dominique a conduit le programme où il bâtit plusieurs chimie habitants qui a servi à l'occasion ailleurs, sans créer Farm Access Roads. Selon le ministre Blackmore, ces chimie sans là qui a reçu attention du gouvernement. Honorable Blackmore fait parole qui 2,5 millions de dollars, cartagité 18 chimères qui bénéficient 800 avec 90 habitants tout le pays là. Ministre Blackmore aussi fait parole qui contracteur local qui tape travail bâti ces chimères là. Il aussi fait parole qu'ils a fait où le gouvernement a engagé et puis ces projets là, c'est bagaille progrès pour pays là. Travail qui prend place en Bells, Cuba Road, en parmi d'autres tout en pays là. En autre nouvelle, le gouvernement Dominique tient cérémonie pour lancer le projet CAI en pays Kalinago. Plusieurs personnes ont salle qui bénéficient de taper ces CAI salam. Membre parlement Honorable Ashton Grano, bien plaisir pour l'initiative gouvernement là.
Le projet ça c'est un projet c'est CAI nous a fait ici l'argent sorti en pays chinois pour faire 17 CAI en pays Kalinago là. Nous avons commencé, nous complétons 10 cailles, avec 5 là, et nous avons décidé que c'est les gens qui ont tapé ces cailles là. Nous avons 17 cailles pour faire, nous agrément nous si après-midi là, c'est pour faire 10 pour Aboisan. C'est 10 ça, nous avons mis 7 en Golden River, et puis 3 en Sensi. Après ça, l'autre 7 là, nous mettons un peu d'eau en live cubiche. C'est là nous avons comment nous avons rangé de Tinekou. Mais c'est 17 cailles nous avons fait encore, c'est 17 cailles nous avons fait en tout. Ça c'est ça contract là qu'a dit à présent.
Honorable Grano aussi mentionné l'argent qui peut dépenser l'année financière là pour chimer l'occasion là.
Link road ça au cas là besoin. On chimer concrete. Ça a été fait en temps Kelly, moi. 2006, check côté là. Nous voulons continuer chimer ça, parce que chimer ça a arrivé en Waraka, à Kingston. Pour que nous ayons créé link là, c'est parce qu'il a mis ces deux communes ensemble, Waraka, Atkinson et puis Badaka. So, nous avons tapé l'argent en bas Ministry Constituency Empowerment, Ministry Ambrose, pour nous continuer chimer ça avec fini. Nous voulons finir once and for all, parce qu'ils sont en chimer qui servi, qui fait servir mon accès pour Caillou et accès pour Danway.
En d'autres nouvelles, Dominique qui bénéficie du programme qui s'est implémenté en Caraïbes. Programme ça qui voit petite entreprise taper assistance, augmenter business ailleurs. Monsieur Félix Finistère, c'est coordinateur pour pays OECS qui a bénéficié en bas programme là.
Si c'est en ligne de tourisme, il a encouragé plus de monde pour venir en commune. Les gens viennent en commune, ils ont spend gob, il y aurait ces villages avec ça qui fait plus développement. Si c'est en tourisme, si c'est en agricole, c'est mon qui ça produit plus, le produit plus, il aurait exporté, foreign exchange, l'autre l'argent américain, l'argent l'Europe, euro, tout ça revient dans ton pays. Nous avons ça a beaucoup de bénéfices pour le pays immédiatement. Mais pour plus tard, les capacités local government, les nous augmenter capacité local government qui ça fait pour tout le temps pour ça répliquer ça nous motive pour faire ça yo faire tout ça qui bon yo ça faire dans l'autre commune quoi si nous prenons des communes quoi expérimente ça les marcher bien yo ça répliquer ça dans l'autre commune.
Et puis finalement, ministre Everyone, Honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow, qui est chef de délégation Dominique qui attendait grand meeting changement climatique, qui prend place en St. Vincent and the Grenadines, jeudi qui venu. Ministre Darrow qui branché et puis d'autres ministres Everyone en meeting cela. Ces ministres-là qui discutaient et puis participaient en débat qui concerne les affaires management, bagaille qui s'est soulagé dommages changement climatique. Ces ministres-là qui ont expecté pour formuler plans et puis programmes qui concernent le changement climatique. Ils ont aussi qui formulé plans pour programmes qui concernent mitigation et l'énergie soutenable en parmi d'autres bagailles. Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en créole pour à présent. Non moins, c'est Macpherson, St. Louis. Ni un bon week-end. Au revoir.
Thank you, Macpherson. Stay tuned for Flashback with Pearl Fontaine for the major stories of the week.
Welcome to this week's edition of Flashback. In the headlines this week, the Dominica Cancer Society raised about $20,000 to support the fight against cancer in Dominica through a fundraising walk and rally. The Discover Dominica Authority released a new promotional video dubbed Are You Breathing Dominica this week. Also this week, the Dominica State College announced that it will soon be assessing tradespersons through the Prior Learning Assessment and Recognition, or PLAR system. A panel discussion on Wednesday formed part of Dominica's observance of World Mental Health Day. Again this week, a contract was signed for the construction of 2 access roads in the Carib territory. Edge Hill and Associates has been contracted to construct the 2 access roads at a cost of $1.868 million. The first ever Quadrille Festival was held at the Old Mill Cultural Center this week to further promote quadrille, which is one of the island's many folk dances. Again this week, Minister for Public Works announced that a series of construction projects to upgrade the state of farm access roads in the more productive agricultural areas of the country have been planned. 18 roads will be upgraded and 20 local contractors will undertake the various projects. Those were the headline stories which made the news this week. Back to you, Mervin.
Thank you, Pearl. Up next is the tip of the day.
The facts as they are, brought to you every day, only on GIS Channel 7.
Today we'll bring you a few tips on driving during rainy conditions. First and foremost, slow down. It takes longer to stop or adjust in wet weather. Don't follow large trucks or buses too closely. The spray created by the larger tires reduces your vision. Take care when passing them as well. If you must pass, do so quickly and safely. Be more alert when driving in wet or slippery conditions. Watch out for brake lights in front of you. Avoid using brakes. If possible, take your foot off the accelerator to slow down. And that's National Focus. As usual, we invite your suggestions or comments. Feel free to drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm, or you could visit our website at news.gov.dm. You could also visit our GIS Dominica pages on both YouTube and Facebook. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Mervin. Have a great weekend.